Here we go. Oops, what happened?
It is time for history to repeat itself and stand. Black Robe Patriots. Your host, Dr. Cindy Flowers and Pastor Ladina Boo.
Good morning, it's Pastor Ladina Boo, and please, I'm still learning the computer system, so if I mess it up, please don't, give me a whole hard time. And let's see, I'm Pastor Ladina Boo out of Stockton, Missouri, and my co-host here.
Dr. Cindy Flowers, all the way up in Michigan.
Yeah, you're up there where they're doing some weird things, in my opinion. You're Michigan, Minnesota, it seems like all the M words we got going on. I still like Missouri. We're still semi-sane here. So anyway, today
Yeah,
Cindy and I are going to talk about the Second Amendment, and hopefully we
that's
don't get in too much trouble. I didn't hear you on
one of my
that.
favorite.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Second
I
Amendment.
just said it
Yeah,
was one of
I thought I talked over you there.
I was just kind of saying that's one of my favorite amendments.
Yes,
Most favorite.
it has to be. We people want to talk about the Second Amendment and want to take away everybody's guns and so forth, but that's not the way our nation was built. Our nation, the Second Amendment specifically says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And so, why
Amen.
is it that they want to take away our rights uh, to, have guns? Because sooner or later, oh wow, says that we're not on the air. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Can you find us on the air on Facebook, Miss Cindy?
let me see. Is it saying that we're not on the air?
Well, this live video has ended and will be available soon. So I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there we are. Okay, we're back. Sorry, technical difficulties. I told you that. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I don't
Um.
know what happened there for a minute, but we're back, so that's good.
Well, as you were reading, the reason why they want to they attack the Second Amendment so much, even putting out false flags of the school shootings. Everybody knows that the false flags is because right here where it says being necessary to the security of a free state. Okay, that means that the Second Amendment was also created to keep government at bay, to protect us from the government growing too big. And that part right there is what this big government wants to go after because they know that's pretty much one of the only things that's keeping us, them, and us kind of thing, that
Right.
separation in line. And that's why they go after it. And they use all these false flags. Now, the one I'm going to mention is the one that just recently happened, in Nashville. No, that wasn't Nashville, was it? The the Christian school, yeah,
Hmm.
in Nashville. The prosecuting AG, I believe, he is taking the police, arresting the police, and said something about that being trans isn't a crime. It's like, hello, whatever she is, has no bearing on the fact that she took a gun into the school.
Right.
That's why they took her out. not because she was trans. And I'm like, this tells, and see right there, totally ignored the people that got affected by it. They turned it into something else
Hmm.
just for the sake of taking the guns. It's ridiculous. They make this stuff up.
Well, we see our government right now. They've opened up the borders and they're illegally importing illegal aliens into these military style camps in Texas and flying them all over the nation. And so, why is it so important for them to illegally strip Americans of their God given rights to bear arms whenever, because they're violating the law anyway? By allowing all these people just to flood into our nation. And if they come in, a lot of them may not like us. And so if they don't like us, you see so many news reports about this illegal alien shooting a bunch of people or this illegal alien stealing our children, selling them into sex trafficking and so forth. We have to be allowed to protect ourselves and protect our families.
Yes, yes, absolutely. They stand there and say, "Well, we're coming for your guns, and we're gonna take this, and this is a dangerous weapon. This gun is a dangerous weapon, and we're gonna have this." And meanwhile, they're under the security of completely armed
Yeah.
officers, guards, and everything. And they say, "Oh, these guns are dangerous, they'll go off." And it's like, well, you've got hundreds of police inside the Capitol, around the White House, all over there, and not once has an AR got up and walked through Congress and rat-a-tat-tatted all over the place.
Hmm.
It can't do anything without the person pulling a trigger. They're totally ignoring the fact that it's the person that they could have. Now they want to go after and go overboard with, you need to register your guns. No, because they're going to target you. That piece of this amendment is an inalienable right, which means that right comes from God. We have the right to protect ourselves from tyrannical government. We have the right to protect ourselves and our families and our belongings from being harmed. So we have
Hmm.
the right to carry. That's why they come up constitutional carry.
Law abiding and gun toting Americans are what stand between freedom and slavery. If that were not the truth, then ask yourself why law abiding owners are always blamed for the crimes of the guilty. And if you go to the Bible, Proverbs 17:15 says, "He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous are both alike an abomination to the Lord." So, we're not law abiding gun owners in this country are not going out and just randomly shooting people. But I love it whenever I see the news articles where somebody goes into a store and attempts to rob it and they pull out their gun and then there's, 10 guns behind him in line telling him, no, you're not going to do this. You know, Law abiding citizens with their guns have saved not lots and lots of people in this country and stopped
Oh
lots of
yeah,
attacks.
amen. And uh, if you look back in the day when you watch the westerns, an armed society is a polite society. Everybody back in those days, after America was born, and they were being able to come to this country and live freely, have land, and be left alone. The government
Mhm.
wasn't in their business, and they were free to live. Everybody had guns on them to protect their home, to protect their property. And if there was someone that was trying to rob somebody or anything like that, you just took care of it. If somebody if somebody was attempting to kill somebody else, they took care of it. They didn't go, oh, well, you're going to sit in jail for 80 years and we're going to pay for you. The taxpayers are going to pay for you. No, they just took care of business.
Right.
You know, just
People need to
took
understand
care
that
of
the Bill of Rights are God given rights, and it holds
it.
within its documents further restrictive wording to our representatives. And it states the conventions of a number of the states, having at the time of their adopting the Constitution expressed a desire in order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its power that further declaratory and restrictive clauses should be added, and extending the ground of public confidence in the government will ensure the beneficent ends of its institution. So, in other words, the Bill of Rights are really the thou shalt nots for those who serve we the people, you know. So it's a thou
Yep.
shalt not. It is the will of the people that these things should be in place and so forth. And it's to help restrict the government from overreach. And it seems like, we went 200 years without any kind of issues, but now the government is taking more and more and more of our rights away. And, anymore, if you go out and somebody sees you have so many guns in some states, uh, they call the FBI, they call the ATF, and they go and they look in all of your financial records and everything. And if they think that you don't make enough money to buy these guns, or if you're selling guns because you need some money to pay for a doctor bill or something, so you're going to sell a gun, uh, you know, they're going to look at you specifically. They're going to dig into your own finances, your own ideas. They're going to look at all your social media accounts, and they're going to watch every move you make for a while. And that's
Yes,
against our Constitution. You know,
it
um,
is. It is again. People, that's the thing. If people only realized that's why they are doing so much to drive division in this
mhm,
country. Because if people come together and we come in unity and we all rise up together against this, they know how much power we actually have.
right. And Massachusetts right now, Um, if you live there, you probably want to move if you're a gun owner, and you probably don't want to travel there or anything else right now because in Massachusetts they have a House docket 4422 that they're trying to pass into law, and that will make Massachusetts the most anti-gun state in the country, and they're basically trying to repeal the Second Amendment, and they want to see, they want to get into your medical records. Okay, I thought there were HIPAA laws. You're not supposed to get into my medical records and so forth. But blue states across America have already passed or are in the process of passing unconstitutional assault weapons bans. And red state governor of Tennessee has called a special session of the legislature next month to try and enact the most egregious red flag law and confiscating your guns. And because he is introducing red flag confiscation laws that would strip Tennesseans of their God given right to keep and bear arms for the kinds of medications they take. Take certain medications you need for your health, and all of your guns will be confiscated by Tennessee authorities if it passes. And some of those medical disorders that could disqualify you are PTSD, so they're targeting veterans, of course, there with that one, anorexia, premenstrual syndrome, eating disorders, nerve pain, male sexual problems, insomnia, postpartum depression, fibromyalgia, hypochondria, chronic headaches, attention deficit disorder, sleep disorder, personality disorders, and obesity. What does obesity have to do with your right to carry a gun?
Okay, does does anybody that are trying to pass these laws, are they affected by any of those things? Probably so. How in the world, if somebody has PMS, what does PMS have to do with having your gun? Your protection is an unalienable
Inalienable.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You know,
you
under that under that confiscation bill, you know, the laws protecting our medical privacy, such as HIPAA and the other ones, are going to be suspended, and physicians and pharmacists would be required by law to report the use of medications used to treat any of those other those disorders I listed.
that's ridiculous. To see
Hmm.
what they're doing, that is that's the key there. That's why they stage false flags and everything. They want our guns because they know if they get our guns, then they can do just like Nazi Germany did anything they want to us because they will have the guns. See, isn't that funny? I see how it's hypocrisy. Oh, guns are dangerous. Oh, this is terrible. This is dangerous. If you're if you're obese, you can't have a gun. We need to eradicate guns. Oh,
Right.
but don't look at my our guns. I'm allowed to have a gun. Well, what makes you so special? Oh, well, I'm in Congress. I don't care. I I work every day, or I work every day. I do this. I have to travel through a bad part of town, so I like to have protection. Oh no, you don't get that.
Yeah. You
Don't
know,
you
and
tell me that some of those police
mhm,
that work there that don't suffer from PTS or have some of those issues. Don't tell me. You can't tell me that. But you know what? As long it's gone to good for me, but not for thee. That's what
right.
it's gone back to.
Yeah, and you know, what are they going to do next? Are they going to take your guns because of the books you're reading, or the music you listen to, or the organizations you join? They're going to take them due to your social media posts or internet websites you visit. Uh, are they going to get you because you carry your gun to church? I welcome guns in my church. If some, you know, we're way out in the country, we're a little tiny place, and so you know, I welcome guns in church. Now, I had somebody try to say that I needed to make people sign in if they were carrying a gun, and they put their name on a list. And I'm sorry, I said no, I'm not putting their name on a list by the front door because that's the first person of that's going to be attacked should somebody come into our church. It's crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. And yes, they're just getting a little too far. And the problem that's see, you see the whole plan? It was a whole plan. Right from the get-go. Dumb down, dumb down the up and coming generations, dumb them down, make them bring in the all the distraction. So all they do all day is just stare down at their phones, and everything is their phones. They don't pay attention. Half of them now that are up and coming, um, they uh, they don't care. Excuse me. They don't know. They don't even know half of, or even any of the Constitution, if at all. And that's the way they wanted them. So they were dumb so that when they could slip in and start to slowly take things away from them, that's
Hmm.
what they wanted to do. And then they it was a plan all along Then now these people are too stupid and too distracted to even care to stand up for this country.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if you see, this is, I'm just going to make this point. If you see, they think that they have all the power, but if you
Mm-hmm.
see what we did when everybody boycotted Bud Light, I'm not a drinker, but because of putting the trans that
Right.
guy on the can. Okay, Bud Light is like done. We totally wiped them out. Okay, then now with this, they're on their way to destroy CMT, country music, television, and all that, whatever the country music thing, because how they're going after one of the country music singer's songs, which have nothing to do with anything that they're trying to make it.
Right.
And
It was something about small, not in a small town. Well, yeah, I'll tell
yeah,
you right now, I live
but you're frozen.
everywhere.
There you go.
Touched anything.
I know. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, but Washington's war on the Second Amendment also includes the way the ATF has been weaponized by the Justice Department to do everything in its power to put federal firearms license dealers out of business. They're cutting off the supply line of where Americans can obtain firearms. And since 2022, over 1,000 firearm dealers have been put out of business directly by the revocation of their federal firearms license by the ATF or indirectly by abandoning their business to escape harassment by the ATF. We've got all kinds of issues going on here. And our legislative people, a lot of them have bodyguards. They get the Hollywood hierarchy to go on and make what are they called, commercials about guns and trying to stop all of those. How many of them have you seen out without a bodyguard? If they're going somewhere in public, they've probably got a bodyguard with them who is armed. So why are you trying to take my gun whenever you've got 6 or 8 of them right there beside you?
Exactly, exactly. And the point I was trying to make was if we would just recognize how much power we really do have, and that the silent majority, we can come against this very quickly and push back. But
We're not
it's
advocating
slowly
for
starting.
violence in any way. We're not advocating violence. We're not advocating for everybody to get together and go march on the Capitol or anything like that. We're just saying that, these are the things that the founders saw in putting together everything for our country. They went ahead and they put that in there because they did not want the country to turn into a dictatorship or communist country in some fashion. They knew that what we had here was a God ordained Constitution and Bill of Rights, and they understood that what it was like to live under tyranny. And, they didn't want this country built on tyranny.
Exactly. This is why it was written the way that it was written, because they lived in tyranny. And so everything that they put in there was to protect us from ever going back to a tyrannical government. And no, we're not pushing for violence. But people want to be left alone, and people will fight for their rights. However, there are people out there that don't even know what their rights are, which is why we are bringing this show out here, so that people go back, read your Constitution. These are your rights. You should fight for them and stand upon them and defend them and uphold them. They are your rights, especially the Second Amendment. I mean, they're full on, and it's not, oh, the Second Amendment is dangerous, guns are dangerous. No, they're only dangerous when you leave them in the hands of people that should not have them. Funny how every state that has the strictest gun laws have the highest murder rate and gun violence.
Cities
And
and
it's like,
states, and most of them are Democratic. I'm not, trying to trash the Democrats or anything, but most of these cities that are run by anti-Second Amendment Democrats, and I have to say that because they actually are, it's fact, have the highest level of murders anywhere. They don't, and nobody has a right to defend themselves.
yeah, that's people. You really need to take a look and reread and understand and study your constitutional rights. Those are your rights. That is what this country was built upon. That's why people left their tyrannical governments that were ruled by England and came here so that they could have the freedom to farm and everything and be left alone and just live their life,
You know,
and all these cockamamie, silly, ridiculous rules about separating things. Who can have firearms to protect themselves and who cannot. If you have PTS, or if you have uh, uh, what's the other one? PMS. Give me a break. PMS. You're just looking for anything.
well, most of the United States is obese in some respect, too. So why is obesity on that list for you not to be able to have a gun? And I was looking at the facts and figures on the FBI's quarterly uniform crime report. And
Yeah.
like I say, the top 15 cities for murders, and these are all led by Democrats or Democratic mayors, whatever. And I'm sorry to say, Missouri has two cities on here. Um, these are the highest crime report rates, and that's Chicago, Illinois. In 2023, so far, they've had 166 murders. Philadelphia, 165. Phoenix, Arizona. Dallas, Texas. Baltimore, Maryland. Houston, Texas. Los Angeles, California. New York City, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Missouri, um, Detroit, Michigan, Washington, D.C., Louisville, Kentucky, Memphis, Tennessee, and St. Louis, Missouri. That's the top 15 murder areas in the country, and they all have some restrictive gun rights things, and they're all democratically led. So they want to take the government there, of those cities want to take your guns so that you cannot protect yourself, and instead, okay, maybe it's a cliche, but it's a true cliche. If you take away the guns from the good people, the only people who are going to have guns are the bad ones. They're not going to turn in their
Exactly.
guns.
Exactly. Oh yeah, because they don't obey laws. They don't obey laws. And but you notice it's always the good guy with the gun who takes out the bad guy with the gun. Why are they
Mhm.
not opening back up the mental health institutions? That there are people
Right.
out there. It's almost like they purposely do that. And it's the other thing that I noticed too, nobody goes to Chicago. Nobody
Yeah.
will do, no, nobody in government will do anything. They won't go into Chicago to do anything to stop the crime in Chicago. They won't do it. They just won't
Mhm.
do it. They won't allow the what do you call it? The Army Reserve or the National Guard. They won't allow any of it because they want to leave it there. Yeah, they let Chicago go hog wild with gun shootings every weekend, higher in the summertime. But then they go to all these other states that have law abiding citizens who own guns, who don't have anything with them, and they want to come after them. That's not happening.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to trash on your state here for a moment. Uh, Michigan has this liberal anti Second Amendment governor and legislature, and they're in the process now of passing laws that would throw Michiganders in jail for the misuse of pronouns. When you're stepping on
Yeah,
things that hard, it's you know for the misuse of pronouns. Okay, let's stop and step back a minute. You know, I don't care if the Mental Health Association or anybody else or the American Medical Association tells you that there are 60 or 70 different genders. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Bible. God made them male and female. And our president at Acts Ministry went to get his driver's license renewed. And people are not falling for that really if you get out there, because he walked up to the counter and the lady said, male or female, anything else, go somewhere else.
amen, amen. And that's exactly how it is. And but see, that particular, the Second Amendment protects our First Amendment, and it pretty much protects all the rest of the amendments that we have. And that is why they're going for that. And when you see somebody making that big of a deal and will do anything to try to get that dismantled and removed, there's other reasons behind it. There is there is a plan. There is a reason for it, and they want to make us helpless and be under
Yeah,
their tyrannical control again. And that's just not going to happen. That's not
yeah.
America.
You need to turn off your TV channel long enough to take a look around you and see what's going on. It's the World
Yes,
Economic Forum. They keep talking about they want us all to go to electric cars. Well, actually, the World Economic Forum wants to take everybody's cars, electric or non-electric. They don't want any cars at all. They want you to live in a 15-minute city, and a 15-minute city means that you can walk out your door and get to everything you need within 15 minutes walking. You know, don't put any cars in the city or anything. Um, they said that private car ownership needs to end. They don't think that we need to be able to get out and visit our families or anything else. And so they're putting this fantasy idea out there that electric cars are the future. Well, the cost of an electric car and building those batteries and so forth is not conducive to the average American city or average American car owner. And so they just want to take them all away. If you tear up a battery in your electric car, it'll cost you as much as a car to get a new battery.
exactly. Also, too, uh, all this talk about slavery, slavery. If you're for, if you are for electric cars, which does more damage to the earth, you're for child slavery, because that's who they use to go and dig out that what's it called, the stuff that they use for the batteries. They have to get that. They get the children to do it. Child
Yep.
slavery. So if you're for electric cars and for all of that, for the batteries, all that kind of stuff, yep, you're for child slavery. Period. And don't go,
Yeah.
oh, that's just not true. Oh, this is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You
Go
need to
study it. Go
go
go study
exact.
on it. You know, our Bible even says, study to show thyself approved. And if you don't know how they build these things or where they're building these things or, who is doing the most damage to our earth by trying to dig up this one chemical thing, I don't even know what it was, one element that uh, they're doing more damage. And it's like they want to take, well, we're in the throes of a socialist Marxist revolution in the United States anyway, because the woke, the green energy, and the gun control agendas are an integral part of that. And uh, they want to take everything we've got, and the billionaires underwriting the revolution are political, business, entertainment, and media establishments, and they're attempting to accomplish what former Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev is widely reported as saying, even as partially, extend to the U.S. congressional record. We will take America without firing a shot. We will bury you. We can't expect the American people to jump from capitalism to communism, but we can assist their elected leaders in giving them small doses of socialism until one final day they wake up and they find they're living in a communist government. We do not have to invade the United States. We will destroy you from within. And, Nikita Khrushchev said that years ago. I was alive when he was saying that. Okay, I don't know if Cindy was,
Yeah,
but
that's
we're
it.
at the stage
That's
where
it.
any American who is not fully aware and fully engaged in resisting this attempted totalitarian takeover of our country is a traitor to the country, and it includes pastors and churches, and that breaks my heart. They've got the church is muzzled; they can't talk the truth. And Cindy can go on and
Well,
on about the 501c3.
we just do it. And
Mhm.
if you look behind on our screen, uh, you will see "Bring Back the Black Robe Patriots" is what it says. Now, once again, what was the Black Robe Patriots? What did we do? And if you look on the picture there and behind us, when you watch our intro and the outro of this, you will see we were armed. That's how we won America, because we had to fight back in order to be able to get your rights. Do you not understand that you have a right to live your life as a free American? You have that right.
Right.
It's here. And people want to take that right away from you. What is it going to take for some of you? Does the government need to say, okay, no more cell phones for you, no more Facebook, no more TikTok, no more Snapchat, none of that anymore. No more phones. We're going to put pay phones back in. Then will you wake up then? You start going, hey, they're starting to overstep their boundaries. They're starting to get into my business. Is that what it's going to take to wake you people up? Because they've already overstepped and overreached. And
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah.
It's
It's
time
time
that
for
you
us
start
to
standing
all,
up.
yeah, we've got to stand up for our Constitution, and we have to, study and understand what it is that they're trying to do so that we can continue to be a free nation. We don't
Amen.
Socialism is bad. I don't care how many people want to tell you socialism is good. It's bad because that's taking everybody's stuff in and it's distributing it out to a whole other group of people and trying to make everybody equal here, 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 and here. But you find that whenever you go into that socialism mindset, that the people who are doing all the work and watching these people sit over here and do nothing are going to stop
Hmm.
working because somebody else can do all the work and give them food and clothing and everything else. So, it's just the first step to communism. So we have to get out of this socialist mindset. And if you hear any of the elected representatives talking about socialism or their socialism goals, don't vote for them, please. You know, we need to maintain a free country, whether the government likes it or not.
Um, yeah, they just people need to stand up for their rights and see. And if you've not noticed, we don't have a kingdom. We don't have a king. There is no King George. Okay, but if you notice how people are struggling, to make ends meet. Living. They're they've worked hard to earn what they've got, and
Right,
they want to take and say, well, we're going to punish you, and we're going to make it easy for homeowners who have bad credit so they can own a home. But you have worked very hard to maintain your good credit, but so we're going to charge you more. But then when you look up at the government and they've got millions, they're not hurting, they're not hungry, they're not. Look at how many times that they, were lying about the whole COVID thing. How many times they were caught without masks, caught going to parties, not
hmm,
standing 6 feet apart, not doing anything that they made us do, tried to make us do. So, but they seem to think that they're on that they are a hierarchy, and
right,
slowly that's what you're going to get, where they can live the lavish life. When Newsom tells you don't turn your water on, don't use your air conditioner, but there is the president, there's all the people in Congress sitting back in their air conditioned homes. Why do they get to have
true.
air conditioning and you don't?
Well, we're
That's not
running
how it
out of time.
works.
We're running out of time here, so I do need to give this disclaimer because what we say on our show, there are views, there are opinions, and it doesn't necessarily fall in line with Acts Ministry or Acts Media Group. So if you don't like something we said or you've got a problem, then please contact us. And, it's not Acts Ministry, so there's no reason to attack Acts Ministry. And we have a problem with our sound at this particular moment. So I am going to have to tell everybody goodbye so we can shut this down and we'll come back again next week. How you doing, Cindy? You going to tell them bye?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to tell everybody goodbye? We're going to get off of here.
Oh yeah. Right before we go, make sure to email us. Tell us what you think. Give us your comments. Give us your disagreements. But let us know. Let us know what you think of
Yeah.
the show. Let us know about topics that you'd like to hear us talk about and stuff. So, and with that,
Yep.
or you can also hear us, catch us on Get Me Radio, the Get Me Radio app, and go to Radio Free America, and you can catch Black Road Patriots on that as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to say goodbye to you and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.